Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to completely change the way you think about achieving your goals. Forget about brute force. We are diving into a much smarter, way more effective way to get what you really, truly want. So, let's kick things off with a question that, most of us think we have the answer to. When you hear the phrase goal-oriented, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it someone who just will not take no for an answer? Someone who just keeps on pushing and pushing and pushing until they get their way? Okay, let's really break this down. Over on the left, you've got the common idea, right? The pushy, stubborn person who's only focused on what they need. But what if I told you that the person who is truly effective, the one who actually wins, is the person on the right? The one who's all about finding a way for everyone to win together. So, first things first, we've got to bust a myth about what it really takes to succeed. Because that aggressive, pushy approach that we often think of, well, it almost always backfires. I mean, think about it for a second. The moment you insist on your way with zero flexibility, what happens? The other person's defenses go right up. They dig in their heels. You're not building a bridge to your goal. You're actually building a wall. You're just creating resistance and slamming shut the very doors you need to be open. So if being pushy is a dead end, then what actually works? Well, this brings us to a much more powerful idea. It's a huge paradigm shift, moving away from making demands and toward offering up proposals. And here it is. This is the absolute core of it all. True goal orientation isn't about how hard you can push. Not at all. It's about the strength and the creativity of your solutions. This idea is called solution power, and it's all about your ability to think around obstacles and find new ways forward, over and over again. This really powerful concept comes from a consultant named Tu Bu Ha. It's not about how loud you can state your goal, right? It's about how many different ways, how many different paths you can invent to actually get there. And check this out. This one sentence, it's like a magic key. It perfectly captures that shift in mindset, and it's something you can start using immediately. Just imagine starting a tough conversation with these exact words. It completely changes the dynamic from a battle into a partnership. Let's really look at how this sentence works its magic. Starting with we, boom, you're not fighting, you're on the same team. A common goal is like you're both looking at the same treasure map. And saying, I have a solution, shows you didn't just show up with a problem, you brought the shovel. You're a prepared, valuable partner. Okay, so theory is one thing, but let's get into a couple of real-world stories where this stuff gets put to the test in some seriously high-stakes situations. Our first story takes us to the super competitive world of entertainment in China, and it features a famous agent named Yang Tianzin. So here's the deal. Her goal was simple: get her client the prime spot, the C spot, right in the center of a movie poster. The problem? The studio gave her a hard no. Now, the pushy path would be to argue, threaten, maybe even yell. And you know what that gets you? Absolutely nothing. But instead, she took the solution path. She came back with multiple new poster designs that not only featured her client, but actually helped the studio with their marketing abroad. It was a total win-win. And that's the absolute key takeaway right there. She didn't become difficult. She made herself indispensable. Your power comes from providing so many good proposals that it becomes easier and honestly more logical for the other side to say yes than to keep saying no. Okay, now this next story, it's just legendary. It's from Tova Bunhaha herself. Picture this. A huge client cancels a make-or-break dinner meeting to catch a flight. Total disaster, right? Wrong. This is where solution power kicks into overdrive. Solution 1. No problem, I'll drive you to the airport, we can talk in the car. Not enough time? Okay, solution 2, which is to buy a ticket for the same flight to finish the conversation. The result? The deal was closed and a professional bond was formed that would last a lifetime. So you might be thinking, isn't that a little extreme? But here's the thing. That wasn't about being crazy. It was about being serious. And that seriousness becomes your secret weapon, your competitive advantage. It shows a level of determination that builds incredible trust and proves you're committed to finding a way no matter what. All right, let's get super practical. I want to give you a couple of mental tools that you can stick in your back pocket and start using literally today to build your own solution power. The first tool is just a simple but incredibly powerful question. You're in a heated moment, you're frustrated, you're about to react. Just stop. Pause for 1 second and ask yourself, is what I'm about to do going to get me closer to what I ultimately want? It just cuts through all the noise and realigns you with your real goal. And this table lays it all out, clear as day. On one side, you have that knee-jerk, emotional reaction, what we're calling a confused action. You argue with your boss. But what's your real goal, your long-term objective? It's to grow your career. You see how those two things are in a fight with each other? Just being aware of that difference is half the battle. Okay, technique number 2. This one is for when you are just completely and utterly stuck. You've hit a wall, you can't see a single way forward. This technique is your escape hatch. It's called the 6-month later method. And here's how it works. I want you to just imagine it's 6 months from now, and this problem that feels impossible today, it's gone. It's perfectly solved. From that ideal future, you work backward. What was the first step you took? By jumping ahead, you trick your brain. You're not stuck in the how anymore. You're just tracing the steps back from a victory that's already happened. All right, let's bring it all home. Because this isn't just about a couple of tricks or techniques. It's a whole new way of thinking. It's about adopting a mindset that sees opportunity where everyone else sees a dead end. And this is where it gets really wild. It's a mindset that some call the theft of joy. Think back to that airport story. The client cancels. 99% of people get mad. But with this mindset, you're secretly happy. Yeah, happy. Why? Because now they feel like they owe you one. That setback just became leverage. That cancellation just became an opportunity. It's a total game changer. And this quote from the comedian Li Den about working with Yang Tianzhen just says it all. The point wasn't just that she got what she wanted, it was that her process, her constant focus on providing solutions for every single rejection made the entire team better. She wasn't just winning for herself, she was lifting everyone up with her. So I'm going to leave you with this question. True goal orientation isn't about being stubborn, it's about being relentlessly creative. So think about one goal you have right now. Instead of just thinking about how to push harder for it, ask yourself, what's a completely new solution I can propose? That's where the real work and the real magic begins.